After looking into the equation based on the triangle law of forces or vectors, we then will consider whatever be the result that is there on account of the law of parallelogram of forces. We know that this law of parallelogram of forces is only an extension of the triangle law. So, from the triangle law, when we show the two forces in order, that is, the continuity is there, then the resultant will be given by starting from the tail of the first vector to the head of the second vector. Thereafter, for completing the parallelogram, we know that for the parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal and parallel. For that reason, whatever be the length that is representing a vector, it can also be shown by the opposite side. So, for the vector P which is given by OA, it can also be shown by BC. In the same manner, for the line OB, the opposite side will be the same. So, CA will be equal to BO or OB will be equal to AC. Not only that, they will also be parallel to one another. It means that the vector Q that is shown by OB can also be shown by AC. With this, we complete the parallelogram, and the definition for the resultant by taking the parallelogram into account is like this. We have seen that already and we will see it again, that when we have got two vectors emanating out of a point and moving in the direction outwards, then the resultant will be given by that diagonal of the parallelogram which is through the meeting point of the two vectors. Now, for deriving the equation for the magnitude of the resultant and also its direction, let us try to bring out a perpendicular from point C to the line OA extended. Then we will have two right angle triangles. One is CDA and the other one is CDO. From the triangle CDA, what we get is sin alpha is equal to opposite side by base. So will be equal to CD by CA, which is also shown here already. So from that we will get CD equal to AC sin alpha, and AC just now we have seen is also equal to Q. So we get CD equal to Q sin alpha. Then apart from that, we have got the value of cos alpha to be base by hypotenuse. So will be equal to AD by AC. So AC being equal to Q, therefore cos alpha becomes AD by Q, from which we will get AD is equal to Q cos alpha. Bearing all this in mind, we have to now derive the value of the resultant first magnitudinally, and then the next one is the direction. For the direction of the resultant, let us say it is making an angle theta from the vector or the force P. So that's the angle theta. From the right angle triangle CDO, we get from the Pythagoras theorem that R square is equal to OD square plus CD square. What we know furthermore is that OD is equal to OA plus AD. So, OA plus AD, this whole is equal to OD. So, OD square will be OA plus AD square, and of course CD which is there, write it down as it is. So, further simplifying, we will get R square is equal to, from the form A plus B whole square, it is A square plus B square plus 2 into A into B. And after that we have got that CD square left out, so write it down as it is. So further simplifying, what we will now get is that R square is equal to OA square, which is equal to P square. You can see it from the diagram, plus AD square. And AD square is equal to Q square cos square alpha. Q square cos square alpha. It is for this reason that to put the value instantaneously beforehand itself, I have found out what is the value of AD and CD. Then we have got 2 into OA. And OA is of course equal to P, and then AD. AD is equal to Q into cos alpha. Now, CD square is left out. From the equation CD is equal to Q sin alpha, CD square will be Q square plus, not plus, into sin square alpha. So simplifying this further, we now get R square. R square is equal to P square. We have got Q square cos square alpha in one place and Q square sin square alpha in the other place. So taking Q square out, within the brackets we will get sin square alpha plus cos square alpha, which is just equal to 1, as we know all that from trigonometry. Then afterwards we have now got 2 into P into Q cos alpha. 2PQ cos alpha. So the last step that we have for the resultant, which is given by R, and the square of that is what we have here, and then P square plus Q square into 1, so that value of 1 will be having no meaning when it comes to multiplication, so forget it, and thereafterwards we have got 2PQ cos alpha. So we have now got the end result to find the magnitude of the resultant. So this will be equation number 1. Thereafterwards, equally important is the direction of the resultant, for which we know that the resultant is making an angle theta from P. And we have from the right angle triangle COD, tan theta is equal to base by height. So it will be OD by CD. So it is equal to, for the direction of the resultant, we know that from the triangle COD, tan theta is equal to opposite side by the base. So it will give us tan theta to be equal to CD divided by the base OD, and we already know that OD is equal to OA plus AD. So OA plus AD. Therefore, we will now have tan theta is equal to CD, which is Q sin alpha divided by OA, and OA is equal to P plus AD is equal to Q cos alpha. So this will be Q cos alpha, right? So this will be equation number 2. Now we have got the equation, one for finding the magnitude and the other one for the direction. But the confusion that will arise when you try to find out the direction is, Q and P are given. We have found out the value of theta by taking both Q and P, and from where is this angle theta? That will be the question. For example, one force is given equal to 20 newtons and the other force is given equal to 25 newtons. And the angle between the forces are given. He is asking us to find out what will be the direction of the resultant. And for that we will be using the equation tan theta is equal to q sin alpha by p plus q cos alpha. So put q equal to 20 and p equal to 25. Or you can put q equal to 25 and p equal to 20. All that is okay. Using that we can also find out the angle theta. But from where is this angle theta? From q or from p? That only is the question, especially for those who are all beginners. So for that we have got a nice hint, and remember that. See the diagram. In the diagram it is clear that the angle theta is the inclination of the resultant from P. And see the position of P in the equation. You can see P in the equation doesn't have sine or cos. That is the point. Whenever you find the angle for the resultant from any vector, then that vector should be independent of sine and cos in the equation. Supposing the question is find the inclination of the resultant from the 20 Newton force, then 20 should be independent of sine and cos. Or else if the question is find the direction of the resultant from the 25 Newton force, then keep 25 independent, then it will be 20 into sine alpha, and in the denominator it will be 20 into cos alpha. So from whichever vector they are asking us the angle of the resultant, or from whichever vector you are finding the inclination of the resultant, keep that vector independent of sine and cos. So now if they ask the question, you have found the inclination of the resultant, okay, but from where it is? You can immediately tell, sir, it is from that vector in the equation which does not have sine or cos. Or else, if this is equal to 25, then you say, sir, the inclination of the resultant is from the 25 Newton force. That's all. So this hint, if you remember, there will be no mistake that will be taking place. Right. So then, we will proceed further from this point to the solving of some problems, and thereafter, once again, we will come to vectors. But after solving the problems, one more time when we take up the vectors, it is going to be about the multiplication of two different vectors. Okay.